In this video, we are going to understand what is secured virtual hub. And we'll try to understand how this security thing works in virtual hub with the help of a diagram so that we can understand the technology on the conceptual level, which is absolutely needed when we actually work in the real environment, talking to the customers, finding out the issues, problems, designing solutions, and things like that. So, there we go. Let's try to understand this. Let's suppose this is our Azure Virtual WAN, right? This is Azure Virtual WAN, and inside the WAN, we deploy a hub, right? This is our hub. And hub, we already know what is virtual WAN and what is hub. And today we are going to secure it, and we are going to see what are the options in Azure to secure it. So what can we do to secure it? We can deploy a firewall. We can deploy a firewall. This is Azure firewall, and this firewall is deployed in hub, associated with the hub. Now let's suppose we have an Azure virtual network right here. This is our Azure VNet 1, or maybe we have Azure VNet 2 here. Let's put it here so that we could understand the uh, traffic routing flow, right? So this is our Azure Virtual Network 2. All right. Now these virtual networks are associated with hub or connected with hub. Let's call them connections. So these are connected with hub. This is connected with hub. Right. We have already done this lab apart except the firewall one. Now, once we deployed the firewall, the routing will not happen automatically. Right. That is the reason we learned the routing, the custom table, default table, things like that. So here, let's try to understand how we configure the firewall with the help of firewall manager and policies. Let me show you why I'm saying this, because if I go to the Azure portal, I click on our virtual WANs, I click on the WAN where we have our hub deployed with the connections, right? If I click on the hub, here you can see Azure Firewall and Firewall Manager in the hub. If you click here, see, this is no firewall deployed. Once I deploy the firewall, but you can see there is no option to deploy the firewall, it will be secured. It will start showing secure. So if I select this, go to manage security, here we can deploy a firewall with an existing policy, right? So we can deploy the firewall with the existing policy, which means we have to have a policy, or we can create one while we are deploying the firewall, right? So that's the reason we need to understand this piece first, how we apply policies with the help of manager on the firewall, or if we have more than one firewall, right? So when we deploy the firewall, we create policies. We create firewall policies, and inside the policy we can create rules, what is allowed and what is not allowed. Okay, here we can create rules, and these policies will be managed with the help of a manager. This is our firewall manager, and these policy can be attached or associated with the firewall with the help of manager, right? And why manager? If we have more than one firewall, we can apply the same policy on the other firewalls as well. So a firewall manager will help us managing the rules, the policies and firewall easily. right? Now, once this happened, like we have created some policy, firewall manager applied to the firewall. Now, when we go to this this piece on the firewall on the Azure portal under the firewall manager, it says no firewall deployed. Once we deploy it, it will start showing secured and the policy what we have associated it. And then what happens? For example, let's try to demystify it a little more for our understanding. Let's suppose we have two VMs here, right? VM1 and VM2 and VM2. And just to make it a little interesting, let's suppose we also have a branch office somewhere. Let's see here. We have a branch office. This is our branch office. And branch office is also connected because we also have a gateway deployed on this hub. Come here. Let's suppose this is a gateway. We can deploy anywhere we want, but just to it should look okay. This gateway is there on the hub, okay, and this branch office is also connected through the gateway to the hub. All right. When we deploy all these firewall through manager, we have two options. First is internet traffic, and the second is private traffic. And we can choose, it will give us the option by default on the portal, the internet traffic and private traffic. We can select secure it by firewall. Similarly, we can select here secure it by firewall, right? So if we until we do not select these options, which is more or less like routes, nothing will happen, because by default this will talk to the hub. This guy right here does not know it should go to the firewall first, and as per the rules defined in the policies, the traffic will move either to VNet 2 or branch office as per the rule states, right? So this is very important. Deploying firewall doesn't make your hub secure, though it will show you secure, but it will not show you secure under this particular place. It will still say uh, what we call it, no firewall deployed but not secured until you start applying the rules. Okay, so in this video we are just trying to grab the concept, and we'll try to deploy the firewall in the next one. I hope this was interesting and little useful for you guys. This is just a small conceptual theoretical base so that when we do the lab, we have the proper understanding to perform it. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful